afternoon, everybody. My name is Francesca and I'm the Interim Operational Manager for the Employment Support Team at Southampton City Council. I also feel very honoured to be able to say that I am the lead for the Southampton Young Adults Employment Hub. During today, hopefully you'll not only be inspired by what you hear, but also you'll be as excited as the team are to be able to tell you about what we can offer our young people in the city. So today's agenda will basically, we've got a mixture of some live speaking, but we've also got some videos as well. So we will be joined by our guest speakers, and at the end we'll be closing, and then you'll have an option to either join the National Careers Service breakout room, or you can then join us in breakout room 2, which will just be a question and answer session with people who are working on the hub, including myself. So if you do have any questions, or if you just come and say hi, then please do come into that breakout room later. So the role of the hub, we are to support young people to help them not only gain confidence, but to move forward either into their first job, or it might be to move into their next jobs. But we want to be able to create a service that not only responds to their needs now, but also develops and responds to the needs of the young people going forward over the next 2 years. So this is a bit of a plea to be maybe if you would like to be working alongside the hub and to help us through our consultation. So if you're 16 to 24 and you'd like to help us shape the service that gets delivered going forward, then please do reach out to us, because we'd really love to work with you. So more importantly, the hub today that you'll hear about is not just the physical hub, which isn't yet happening because we are all having to work from home and we're all in lockdown. But as soon as we can open up and we can deliver a face-to-face service, we will be yelling about it very, very loudly, and hopefully we'll be able to welcome people in and to participate, not just with the hub workers, but also with our other providers and colleagues across the city. However, we are very, very lucky to be able to have a rather wonderful digital hub, which has been built and put together by our team, and that's constantly developing. And not only have we got the hub online and things, but we're also developing blogs and podcasts. So our podcast is called the Jobcast. So we have had 2 podcasts that we've put out, and they're coming out on a monthly basis. And we've also got lots of exciting webinars and talks planned for the next coming months, particularly around STEM Week and National Careers Week as well. So we're very honoured to be able to celebrate the launch of the hub with our special guest today. With that, please can I welcome the Right Worshipful, the Mayor of Southampton, Councillor Sue Blatchford, to open the event.
Thank you, Francesca. People associate the council with collecting rubbish and recycling, planning application, and a host of other activities. What is not realised is the employment and training support that has been given to the community by the council for well over 30 years. As Mayor, I'm particularly pleased to be here at the launch of the Young Adults Employment Hub. The launch of this partnership with the council and with the Department for Work and Pensions and No Limits to assist and support young adults through a very challenging time in seeking jobs and training and apprenticeships is important. I'm aware of the long-standing support the council has given, because my working life during the 70s, 80s and early 90s was with the original careers service in the Southampton Careers Office, when the council was involved in the Youth Opportunities Programme, the Youth Training Scheme and other support schemes. When I was first elected to the council in 1992, I was actually a member of the Employment and Training Initiative Subcommittee, a committee that reflected the council's commitment to supporting those without work and allowing me to continue my interest in supporting those seeking training and jobs. With my membership of the Planning Committee, I saw another council support process where planning applications were used to create jobs and training, especially, for example, during the construction of the West Quay development and employment opportunities once completed. My old work boss used to moan at me when I spent more time trying to help a young person find accommodation than send them to a training opportunity. But I saw sofa surfing as a barrier to holding down that training or job. So getting that training, apprenticeship or job opportunity can be a challenge because of the personal circumstances some young adults find themselves in, which is why I'm also delighted that No Limits is involved in this particular partnership and supporting young adults with its experience of counselling and advocacy to help those young adults overcome those barriers. No Limits also happens to be one of my mayoral charities because I actually value the work they do and I know sort of all about them. I'm also pleased that the National Careers Service is involved to also signpost advice and resources, as there are many avenues to the various fields of employment which may include something that was not known to exist in the minds of someone seeking guidance. This partnership reflects the involvement of the Department for Work and Pensions, Southampton Job Centre Plus, and its Young Adults Employment Hub work coaches to include their knowledge not only around the benefit claim system, but funding connected with employment-related costs. My sister, through Access to Work, had wheelchair adaptations made to her place of employment. This Zoom launch also reflects that we are currently working in a very different environment with the pandemic. The new Young Adults Employment Hub will use the same virtual tools to help boost employability skills. And having looked at the website and its links, there is an absolute wealth of information available. As someone rapidly approaching my pension age, if I was going to give one piece of advice, it would be that to get into your dream job, it may involve following other paths to gain those transferable skills to prove your abilities. And it's always easier to get a job when you're in a job. So as Mayor, I thank the Department of Work and Pensions, No Limits, and the employment support team of the Council in coming together to create the Young Adults Employment Hub to support those needing help in our city. Thank you.
Mayor, yeah, it's fantastic. Thank you. We're very excited for the collaborative approach of the hub. So we're now going to hear from some of the members of our hub, just telling you a little bit about people's roles and how we're all going to be working together on the Young Adults Employment Hub. So hope you enjoy the video.
Hi, I'm Gemma. I'm writing or rewriting CVs and helping with application forms, interview techniques, or information, advice and guidance on how to disclose health conditions or criminal convictions. I'll also be writing the blog for the Young Adult Employment Digital Hub on a variety of subjects.
I'm Sarah and I'm a youth hub work coach here in Southampton. very, very excited about our youth hub. It's an opportunity for us in Southampton to run this project and to put young people at the centre of everything we do. We will be helping young people to make decisions about their careers and their lives, especially at this time. That's a difficult thing, and we understand that. So we'll also be helping with looking at what issues you have that might need to be overcome. So, for example, you might need help with writing your CV, you might need some work experience, you might need an employer to take you on board in an area that you want to work in to do that, to achieve that. So those are all the things we can do. So the youth hub will be specifically for young people up to the age, including the age of 24. So in Southampton, in the Job Centre, we work with all clients of different ages and backgrounds. And with the youth hub, we will be specifically working with young people. So we are experts on young people's issues and the things they need to overcome before they can look at even their careers. So we also will work together, so holistically, to help you. So I would refer maybe to someone who can help you from no limits to secure accommodation or to change your bank account, things like that, if you find those things hard. I would also perhaps refer you to a programme at Prince's Trust if you want to help with building your confidence, if you want to start your own business. I know people that can help you with all of those things. The way we would tailor our support is we would look at you as an individual and what your needs are, what your goals are, and we're going to try and break that down for you and work with you. And it's very person-centred, so it's going to be about you. You're going to have to be maybe honest with us about the things that are stopping you from achieving your goals, and we're there then to support you to remove those issues and that you've always wanted. I believe the Youth Hub is an exciting opportunity for people in Southampton that sets it apart from anything that's been done before. I'm so excited about supporting you and helping you to achieve your goals and to get that career that you've always wanted. And together we can do it.
Hello, my name's James and I work for No Limits. No Limits is one of the partners in the Young Adults Employment Hub, and we provide information, advice and counselling to any young person under 26 years of age. No Limits' role in the hub is to help young people overcome the barriers that are keeping them from employment and training. Barriers such as housing and homelessness, benefit and debt, drugs and alcohol, or mental health issues. Everything that No Limits does is free and confidential, and we have a base on the High Street in Southampton. If you're currently open to the hub, you can get referred to No Limits by speaking to either your STEP advisor or your job centre advisor. And if you're not open to the hub, you can give us a call and we can see what support we can offer. Thanks for listening.
Hi, my name's Beth Bray. I work in the careers team at Southampton City Council. Our role in the hub is to find young people in the city in need of support. We work with 16 to 18-year-olds, and through our colleges we identify who isn't in work or learning and contact them to see what help they need and then get them in touch with the right people to help with that next step. It could be a careers interview to find out what really motivates them to work, a referral to a partner offering a course or activity, or a link to a key worker in the hub to give one-to-one support to overcome any barriers to help them move on.
So I hope that gives a little bit of insight into how we would like to support our young adults in the city and how the hub will be able to help people. So we've asked for a few people to come forward and to tell us about their career journeys to date. I'll allow each of them to introduce themselves. So with that, Sandy, can I hand over to you, please?
Thanks, Francesca. Hello, everybody. And I'm really delighted and feel very honoured to be asked to come here today and just say a few words to you. And I've only got 3 minutes to give a little bit of background. I think my brief was what was I like as a young person and how did I end up at Southampton in terms of my career. And I think 3 minutes doesn't doesn't feel like long enough to be able to explain that, but I've just got some key points I wanted to make. First of all, I wasn't that academic, and I didn't come from a massively academic family, but I was a very determined little person, and that determination has carried on through my life. I didn't like things to get the better of me, and I kept trying wherever I failed. But the other thing that I always had been taught to do by my parents was to always ask for help if I needed it, and never be frightened to ask for help. Feel confident about asking for help, and it isn't a sign of failure. And so that's what I did. And that's what I've done all the way through my life and in my career. I really liked Richard Branson. He was someone I wanted to work with when I was a young person. I thought he was one of these really innovative business people. He always had lots of new ideas and would start up new companies. And he quite liked troubleshooting. And I loved all those sort of things about him. So he was someone I wanted to work for. I have to say I never did. I loved learning though, even though I wasn't very academic. And I've always carried on with that. I've carried on learning as an adult. So again, even though I'm not academic, I've carried on through my determination, I guess, wanting to learn. And I still feel like I learn something every week in my role in Southampton as well. But when I did finish studying, I realised I didn't have any experience at all. And of course, getting a job when you don't have experience can be very difficult. So I walked into a tourist information centre and I offered to work for nothing because I wanted the experience. And within a few days, I started to negotiate with them so that they would pay for my travel and some of my upkeep, because of course I couldn't work for nothing completely. And because they'd already had a few days of my experience and they could see that I was someone who wanted to work with people and add value, they very kindly did pay for my travel and cover my food. And so I worked with them for nothing, no salary, but my expenses for a little while. And I guess that illustrated to me that sometimes having confidence in yourself and determination and being a little bit cheeky can get you a long, long way. The other thing is having a goal. And I think once I discovered working with people and I started to get experience, I also discovered public services, and that was something I'd never thought about working in. But what I realised was that you can really make a difference to people's lives. And I fell in love with public services. And as I saw other jobs advertised, I applied for them and eventually did end up getting a salary working in public service. And my aspiration was always, about 25, 30 years ago, to become a chief executive. And when the Southampton job came up, I was a resident and I'd been living in the area for 20 years. I'd come down as a student and I loved the city. I loved using the city. I loved shopping and going to the theatre and going to the movies and all the fantastic restaurants that there are and the nightlife. And when that job came up as Chief Executive of Southampton City Council, I really wanted to go for that and I really wanted to succeed because I wanted to be part of the story of Southampton. Over that 20 years I'd lived in Southampton, I could see the massive improvements that the council had made, and all my colleagues, my 3,500 colleagues as they are now, and the 700 different services that Southampton offers. So really that's my story. It's about having determination, it's about having confidence in yourself, believing in yourself, asking others for help along the way, and having passion. I hope that's my 3 minutes in terms of my story. Thank you, Francesca.
Okay, so I think I'm on now. So good afternoon, everyone, and I'm delighted to have been asked to speak today. But if I'm honest, I was really nervous when I was asked, because my story is not probably a story that we always want to shout about. But I'm proud of my story and where I've ended up. So I'm Councillor Jacqui Rayment, and I'm Deputy Leader at Southampton City Council. And I'm Cabinet Member for Customer and Organisation. But if I'm honest with you, I've been a councillor for over 25 years and I've held every portfolio going, except for finance. And I think that's probably more to do with my number dyslexia. At the moment, my portfolio covers a whole range of issues, all the backroom stuff, all the support services that make the council work. A really interesting and challenging brief. But my brief was to talk to you about how I became a councillor and what my career path was. Well, I can tell you, I never set out to be a politician. That was the last thing that I ever thought I'd do. So my backstory, I was that naughty little schoolgirl who left school very early with no qualifications from a very chaotic family. I went to London and I managed to get into retail, a trainee personnel manager, very grand title we were called in those days. Nowadays, of course, known to all of us as HR. Didn't really last. I found myself in London, homeless, pregnant, single, no family support. So I thought I'd better come back to the city where I was born and that I loved. Didn't quite go the way I planned. I ended up from the council, which now I'm forever grateful for, of being put on Northern Estate in the inner city. In those days, it was called a sink estate because no one wanted to live there, which is why it was quite easy to get a council flat. For me, I was just grateful to have a home, to have a roof over my head and to be able to look to see where my future was going. The trouble was, in those days, we were labelled, we were labelled those single parents that were a blight on society. So the estate needed a lot of work. The properties were awful. And I thought, I'm up for this. I'm not going to live up to that label. I'm going to take on a challenge. I'm going to take on the council. Little did I know at that point. So a group of us got together. We set up a community association. We set up a residents association. And again, if I'm honest with you, I don't think any of us really knew what we were doing, but we made the council listen to us. We made them hear us. We were a group, predominantly single mums, but there were a few dads in there as well, who were seen as the lowest of the low, living on a poor estate with not a lot going for them. And I knew I was better than that, as were my friends. We decided that we needed to take drastic action to get people to listen to us. One of those was a road safety campaign. So if you know Northern Road, where the traffic lights are, where the old Meridian used to be, there was about 20 mums and dads laid in the middle of that road every morning from 7:30 till 8 o'clock for a week, causing tailbacks right up to Bitton. We were seen as a pain in the butt. We had prams, we had young children, we had cardboard coffins, and we were trying to get our message across that that junction was unsafe. Well, on the Friday, the police arrived with the council officers and they said to us that we'd all be arrested if we did it again. We were causing a bit of a problem for them. What we took away from that was that we were being listened to for the first time for many of us. A few nights later, I had a visit, quite late, from the then leader of the council and a councillor at the time, Paul Jenks, who was head of housing, and recognised some of our complaints about Northern Estate. They asked me two questions. What did I want and what would it take for me to stop fighting them? To stop fighting Southampton City Council? Well, there was no answer to that. I just wanted to improve the lives of the people I lived and helped around the estate. I didn't think I was anything special, and I still don't. So they said, join us, become a councillor, represent these people officially. I said no. Within seconds, I said no. I can't do that. I've got no confidence. I've got no qualifications. I can't speak to people. And I was often angry at the situation I found myself in. I shared my story with some of the people that I was helping and working with on the estate. And they all said, go for it. You're mad. Get elected. See what you can do for us. Not those people that get themselves elected and don't care about people like us. So I contacted them and I became a candidate and then got elected as a councillor for the Bargate region, which then later became the Beavers ward. And there, I guess, history then dictates what happened next. I've had some fantastic opportunities. I still represent the Northern Estate. I still go back and try and still help some of those residents that have been there. Of course, the estate's changed dramatically in the 25, 26 years since I lived there. What I can tell you though, is being a politician is great fun, but it's not a path that I would have chosen if I'd known at the time. It's not a path that is always easy, but is definitely gratifying. So my message to anyone out there is, if I can do it, you can do it. If I can make something of myself, you can make something of yourself. You can plan your future. You can plan to do great things, but sometimes fate steps in and messes it up for you and puts you on a different path. Fate plays a hand that you've got no control over. But remember 3 things. Be the best you can be. Don't let anyone tell you that you can never do it, whatever that it is. And more importantly, believe in yourself, because if you believe in yourself, other people will believe in you, and that will make your life easier as you get older and as you progress through. I'm delighted that the hub is being set up, and maybe if there'd been something like this in my day, in the early 80s, I might have had a different path, but the path I've travelled has not been too bad, and I wish you all the best for the future. Thank you. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm supposed to now hand over. The name's changed, so I was handing over to a lady called Sarah, but I'm back to Francesca, I hope.
Thank you. Thank you. So Sarah Carhart, unfortunately, is having a few technical issues. So I was going to stand in and just cover, but actually I think I'm just going to leave the inspirational speakers to both Sandy and Councillor Rayment, because they're really inspiring stories, and I really don't think I can add much more to it. So thank you, both of you, for sharing that. And I think there's some really positive messages out there. So that was wonderful. I'm now going to hand over to our keynote speaker, who has kindly agreed to join us today. And it gives me great pleasure to hand over to Geoff Holt, who was the first disabled person to sail single-handed around Great Britain and sailed the Atlantic unassisted. He was awarded his MBE for services to disabled sailing and was named Yachtsman of the Year in 2010. Thank you for joining us, Geoff, and it's over to you.
There you go, I'm unmuted. Thank you for that lovely introduction, Francesca. Can you see me on the screen, or is that? Yeah.
Yeah, we can see you.
Good. Thank you very much for that introduction, and also thanks to Councillor Rayment and Sandy. They were very inspirational stories, and now I know who was causing all those traffic jams at Northam all those years ago. Hilarious. Look, thank you for asking me. Thank you for that lovely introduction. This is kind of short notice, but I'm going to spend a few minutes talking about my story, my journey, and it will hopefully come as a surprise to you all, the part Southampton played in that, because I'm sure a lot of you have absolutely no idea that were it not for Southampton, and I'm talking specifically about Southampton City Council, I would not be where I am today. So I'm going to ask for the first slide to be popped up. I went to school in Southampton. I went to Bitton. I went to St Mary's in Bitton for a number of years, and I didn't like school. I'm not going to pretend I did. It was through the late 70s and early 80s, and I couldn't wait to get away from school. In 1982, when I reached 16, I had a couple of qualifications, not really enough. I didn't know, Jacqui said something very interesting about fate playing a part in your life. I had my life planned out. I wanted to join the Royal Navy. I wanted to, do all sorts of things, travel the world. And fate does play strange tricks on what you've got in mind. I knew that I wanted to somehow work on the water. So I left school at 16. I literally jumped on that boat there and I sailed the oceans. And if you look at the next slide, you'll see this is what I did between the ages of 16 and 18 years old. I sailed the Atlantic 3 times. I sailed over 35,000 miles at sea. This is what I wanted to do. It was kind of, the dream job, being on the water, being paid by somebody to sail beautiful yachts all around the world. And I kind of thought, actually, I've found what I want to do. although fate was to step in, when I was 18 years old, I was working in the British Virgin Islands. I'd just taken a job as the youngest charter boat captain in the Caribbean. I completed my paperwork. I went to the beach. I went for a swim. I ran down the beach. I dived into shallow water and I hit my head on a sandbank and I broke my neck. And that was September the 5th, 1984. I was 18 years old. I'm paralyzed from the chest down. I use a powered wheelchair. And my life at that point was at one of those junctures where, you know, it will change forever. I was flown back to the United Kingdom. I spent 9 months in hospital in Salisbury, and eventually I was given a flat at Deesa House, behind the old Polygon Hotel. I was given a 1-bedroom flat where she was then my nurse, Elaine, in hospital. We got married, and Elaine and I have been married 35 years now, so that's all very nice, isn't it? So the reason why this is relevant is because here I was an 18-year-old man who had my life turned upside down. There was no way I was going to earn a living in yachting, in doing what I was doing, sailing the ocean. You know, I was a wheelchair user. I was reliant 24-hour on care. And I discovered that Southampton City Council, and I can't see the slide you're seeing for some reason, but if you pop the next slide up, you should, there you go, I can see it now. I can see what you're seeing. So in 1988, Southampton City Council got together with the City Technical College and Southern Gas, and the City Council created a home-delivered training course. And I was one of, it wasn't just for disabled people, it was for single mums as well. And I was one of the lucky 10 who was chosen. I went to, we had a home-delivered tutor for about 9 months. I stuck at it. Then the City Council hosted a reception at the Guildhall, and they brought together the 10 people that had done the course and some potential employers in the city. And I got a job. You'll see there, handicap Jeff Scoop's top job. It was a job as a data processor using that amazing computer you can see in front of you. That was a laptop, would you believe it? And I, with a firm who, interestingly, I was just watching that video about the Youth Hub. It was based at Wheatsheaf House in Bernard Street. And that was my first job as a database administrator. And over the years, and I'm talking about 5, 10, 15 years, I was slowly to work my way up to becoming head of marketing and business development for that firm we call Deloitte, that international accountancy firm. I should say that, and this is really important, I had to make some choices then. I was on benefits, living on benefits at the time, and I had to make a decision because working meant I lost those benefits. And I had disabled friends around me who said, "You must be mad. Why would you go and work for 8 hours a day when you can stay at home on benefits?" I'm still friends with some of those people, and those people are still at home on benefits. And I was able to work my way up the ladder quite quickly. And I'll be forever grateful for the city for doing that. If you drop to the next slide. So I didn't get back in a boat for some 7 years. Sailing wasn't part of my life. It was my life. It's what I did. And you may recognize that. That's Swack under the Itchen Bridge, and that's the old Vosper Thornycroft, the other side of the river. This is the first time I ever got back in a boat. I was terrified. I was frightened because I was frightened I may have forgotten how to sail, but also I was frightened what people were going to think of me. And that really was the BBC there filming me for the first time. And as my wife lifted me down into the boat, I remember really clearly Elaine saying to me, "My God, I hope you know what you're doing," because she'd never seen me sail before. Anyway, as it happens, I pulled the main sheet in, took the tiller, sailed across the River Itchen. The boat went faster, and it was like, this is what I love. This is something that I have to get back to doing. So throughout whilst working, holding down a job at the same time, I did some sailing. And if you go to the next picture, I'm kind of jumping around a few years here, but this is now 2007, so 13, 14 years ago. As you heard earlier, I set off to become the first wheelchair disabled person to sail single-handed around Great Britain. I left from Southampton. It was a long journey. it took me, if you click to the next slide, you'll see that I visited 51 ports around the country. It took over 100 days to get round. And putting together this project was perhaps my biggest challenge, but it was those skills that I learned at Deloitte all those years, putting together teams, building brand, and about trying to find sponsorship. I was able to pull all that together to create what I called my personal Everest. And that finished on the 5th of September 2007, ironically, some 25 years after my accident. But I wasn't satisfied with that. Having sailed around Britain, I thought I wanted to do something a bit more adventurous. And I told you earlier I'd sailed across the Atlantic. I showed you that picture. And I decided 2 years after going around Britain that I wanted to be the first wheelchair user to sail across the Atlantic Ocean. It took a long time. It took a lot of hard work finding the people to support me, the money to do it. But if you look at the next picture, I should tell you, this is not my boat. I borrowed it off somebody. And what I didn't tell him was I was going to put my name all over it. He was happy with that. And so in November 2009, I set sail from the Canary Islands. I had someone to help look after my medical needs on board the boat, but I sailed that boat. It was, crikey, it took a month to sail 3,500 miles across the Atlantic Ocean. And if you look at the next slide, you'll see the route I took. Interestingly, I decided there could only be one destination when I got to the other side. I wanted to drop anchor in the British Virgin Islands at a beach called Cane Garden Bay, because that is the exact place that I broke my neck in 1984. It wasn't about closure. It wasn't about exercising demons. It was nothing about that. It was just about celebrating the fact that, you know, what is achievable. I never thought as an 18-year-old man I'd be breaking my neck, paralyzed from the chest down, and 25 years later sailing an ocean, you know, on a beautiful yacht like that. But it was kind of, I'm not one for giving quotes. Things are a bit cheesy sometimes, but someone once told me that Churchill said, "The chain of destiny can only be achieved one link at a time." And that's kind of quite true, really. It's this one step at a time. It's not pushing your boundaries. And I couldn't have sailed that Atlantic, you know, a week, a month, a year after my accident. It had to be these small increments that led to what I did. And that then led on to other things. I suddenly got international notoriety as this disabled person. And as you heard, I was very lucky. I got a national honor for that. But something more important to me, I was watching who disabled people could get on and off the water. And I decided that I needed to give something back. There's lots of disabled centres where disabled people can sail, but there was nowhere they could get on a powerboat and go fast and get the adrenaline going. So I created in 2012, what you'll see now is the Wet Wheels Foundation. And I started this with one boat. This is Southampton Boat Show in 2011. That boat I had to raise, I can tell you, I had to find over £250,000 to buy that boat. With Suzuki supported me, and the Rayment with the electronics. But all of that meant that I could now start this charity to get disabled people who wouldn't ordinarily, and you can look at the next slide, who wouldn't ordinarily be able to get on the water. And we work really extensively with the Rose Road Association, Cllr's, Naomi House, Jack's Place, all these places across Hampshire that have special educational needs schools. And that one boat is now 6 boats, all identical. We have nearly £1.5 million worth of boats around the country. When I first worked for Deloitte, my boss said to me, he said, if you find a job you love, you'll never work a day in your life. And I used to think that's a great motto. He's right. If you find something you do, you don't feel you're working. I did think that to start with, but trust me, when you're juggling 6 boats, 8,000 passengers a year, you know, and all of that funding, I'm not saying I don't love it, but it's an incredibly big mountain to climb. Having said that, it gives me the greatest feeling of satisfaction, actually being able to give something back. You know, I don't take a wage from it. There's no secret. I'm fortunate that, you know, I'm able to do this and support it. It's about enabling others to achieve stuff that, you know, they otherwise may not be able to. And I think that's really important as you go through life, whether it's volunteering and learning skill sets that you can put to use and slowly start to build your CV. So that's kind of a whistle stop of my career, me as a human being. I'm now living in Fareham. I've got an 18-year-old son who is going through this whole lockdown nightmare. And it really is a nightmare. You know, he wanted to join the Royal Marines, and that's all. Everything is just, my heart bleeds for him because I want to help him do more. But of course, in this situation, it's very difficult. So I think launching the Young Adults Employment Hub with the DWP and No Limits, it couldn't be better timed now. And all I can do is, from experience, is encourage anyone listening and thinking about this is to take what guidance there is. Sometimes, in my day, there wasn't the resources we have now. Sometimes it's possible to be absolutely overloaded with it by the noise of information and opportunities. And it's cutting through that and thinking really what it is you'd like to do with your life, how you're going to make a difference. And so I've had more than my time. Thank you for asking me. I will stick around if there's some Q&As later, but thank you very much. Over to who? I don't know.
Thank you so much, Geoff. That was truly inspiring, and yeah, I'm kind of I have nothing really that I can say. It's a really lovely story, and certainly very inspiring to see how how you're helping lots of other people as well, and it's wonderful to hear. Something that you said earlier was it was about one step at a time. And I think for us at the Hub, that's what's really important, is that we recognise that every single young person is an individual, and every single young person will have a different experience, they'll have different expectations, they'll have, everybody's an individual. So for us, it's about supporting people one step at a time, helping them in the way that they want to be helped and that they need to be helped. And sometimes that's about finding a couple of hours volunteering a week to just build up their skills and their confidence. And then other people, it's about helping them to re-engage back into education, or to look at some training, or even to take those steps into paid employment. And I guess your story kind of echoes what we're trying to do, is that, we want to work with people on a one-to-one basis, and we want to help people in the way that they need to be helped, and to access what it is that they want to help, or what they want help with. So I mentioned earlier as the hub, the physical hub, as being a space where we want lots of providers to come in and to engage with young people who are using the space, whether they're just dropping in to say hello and find out what we're doing, or whether they're going to be working with us on a longer term. So we want to be able to open up the hub for different providers to come and see their own clients, but also to be there so that we can introduce our clients to them. So we're removing even more barriers. So the idea is it will be a one-stop shop, hopefully for all things employment and training related. So we're just going to have a quick video, which has got two of our providers who have both said that they would like to use the physical hub when we are open. So if we could just go on to that, please.
Hi everyone, my name is Paul and I'm one of the youth support workers at the Prince's Trust. I work with an amazing team of staff supporting young people from across the South Coast. The Prince's Trust helps young people all over the UK build their confidence and skills, supporting them into jobs, education or training. Founded by the Prince of Wales in 1976, the charity supports young people between 11 and 30 years old who have been unemployed, struggling at school or at risk of exclusion. Many of the young people helped by the Trust are unemployed, in or leaving care, facing issues such as homelessness or challenges with mental health, or have been in trouble with the law. Courses offered by the Prince's Trust give young people the practical and financial support needed to stabilise their lives, helping develop their self-esteem, confidence and practical skills for employment. 3 in 4 young people supported by the Prince's Trust move into work, educational training after completing one of our courses. We can help young people build their confidence and have a range of programmes to develop their skills and help them set goals and plan for the future, whatever their right next step might be. These include our personal development focused programs, such as Explore and our 12-week-long program team, as well as working with our partners such as Solent Mind and No Limits on our Youth Affinity Peer Mental Health project. Working with top employers such as BAE, Marks and Spencer's, South Western Railways, HSBC and the NHS, we help young people improve their CVs, their personal statements, and get confident around their interviews and maybe even secure a job. Also, we have the Enterprise Programme, which I myself deliver, which helps young people become self-employed. We help them with things such as marketing and sales, tax and finance, as well as business planning and mentor support. They can also even secure a loan. Currently, all our programs are offered online. However, we soon hope to be delivering them face-to-face. Our staff are really keen to get this to happen, but we can only do what we can through the current situation. Please keep in touch with us through our social media and our website, and we at the Prince's Trust and the local South Coast team are delighted to be working in partnership with all those involved in the Southampton Youth Employment Hub. Please keep in touch. We will be having a desk at this centre, so everybody keep safe. Thank you.
Hi, my name is David Warnes and I'm the Saints Works Project Officer for the Saints Foundation. Saints Works is a programme for 16 to 24-year-olds that are not in education, employment or training. We use interactive workshops, work visits, guest speakers and mock interviews, all designed to help improve confidence and skills of our young people and with the end goal of getting them into employment. Now, we are really excited to hear how the Young Adults Employment Hub goes. I believe it will be an instrumental tool in supporting young people with their next steps. For any young people that are interested in joining our Saints Works programme, please get in touch with us and we can get you on board. Thank you very much. Have a good one. Bye.
I know that we're very excited to be welcoming Prince's Trust and also Saints Foundation into the hub with us shortly. So we also have another short video for you, and this is to introduce Chelsea, who is working on our hub. So we're very lucky to have her as part of our team, but she's also working and is the main contact for the Kickstart programme. So she's going to explain a little bit more about it now.
I'm Chelsea, I'm the Kickstart coordinator for the Southampton Job Centre site. Kickstart is a really exciting new government scheme. It's something that I feel really passionate about. It's a really unique scheme that the government have created to help people aged 18 to 24 find their chosen career, really. So it gives them the opportunity to experience the whole employment process. You experience the application, so finding a job, applying for it. You experience the CV writing, the interview process, and then obviously the outcome as well. The government will fund the employer to pay your wages really for the 6 months. So it's a minimum of 25 hours a week. You will be paid a national minimum wage as well. The employer does have the discretion to increase them hours and increase the salary as well. So kind of depending on what job you go for, there is the opportunity to have that increased salary as well. For me, it's a really exciting opportunity because it gives me the opportunity to help young people get into the career that they want to. We'll be working quite closely with the National Career Service. They run a workshop which helps you get job ready. This entails CV reviews, mock interviews, any support that employers kind of zone in on the individual things that an employer will be looking at, really. they're experts in their field as well, so their workshops are really, really good. So we'll be referring you on to them. We will support you throughout that whole process, even when you have secured your job as well. We will continue that support when you're in your job, so if you still have any queries, even if it's not working for you as well, we can kind of have a look at different Kickstart vacancies for you. So the opportunities are endless. So when you come along to the Youth Hub, me and my colleagues, we will be speaking about Kickstart. It's a really, really exciting opportunity. We're all really passionate about it. It just makes, it's a massive scheme to help young people get to the career that they want to be in, and give you the opportunity that you deserve. So yes, if you do want to find out a little bit more, then come along to the Youth Hub and we'll be happy to speak to you about it.
So we're really looking forward to be able to support lots of young people to access Kickstart as another offer from the Hub. So lastly, before we do close the event today and move on to the workshops, I have the privilege to virtually meet 2 young people who have accessed their service through STEP, which is a project that is run by the Employment Support Team, supporting young people who are not in any employment educational training. And they were very inspiring, but they were also very brave to be able to talk to me and tell me a little bit about their experience of working with us, but also what they've achieved and the barriers that they've had to overcome. They agreed that actually they weren't happy to be filmed, so we are all represented as sort of avatars. So it will just bring something a little bit different to the video. Welcome, Brandon and Alyssia. Thank you very much for joining us today at the Youth Hub launch. So can you just introduce yourselves? Brandon, can I hand over to you?
My name's Brandon, 19 years old, and at the moment doing music at college.
Oh, perfect. Excellent. And what are you doing at college?
Music.
Oh, excellent. And how long have you been doing that, Brandon?
About, I think around last September, so a few months.
Oh, excellent. And are you enjoying it?
Yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you. And Alyssia, can I ask you to introduce yourself?
My name's Alyssia. I'm 16. I'm currently working with the Prince's Trust and Enham, doing health and social care and also my maths and my English.
Oh, fantastic. That's brilliant. And are you enjoying it?
Yeah.
Good. So our next question to you is, can you tell us about the support that you've received from the Employment Support Team? So Brandon, tell us a little bit about how you got involved with the Employment Support Team.
It started a while ago when I first went to college after secondary school.
Mm-hmm.
But the college I went to didn't go so well, to the point where I dropped out. And I was pretty much in a period where I had like nowhere to go. Mm-hmm. And after a while, one of my social workers at the time that I was working with introduced me to STEP, which is when I was introduced to John. And from there, I've just kind of did Enham at the start and then slowly try to get into college back.
Perfect. Oh, that's brilliant. Thank you. And Alyssia, what about yourself? Tell us about how you've become involved with the Employment Support Team.
I dropped out of college and I got in contact with No Limits, who referred me to STEPS. And that's when I started speaking to John. He referred me to the Prince's Trust and he also referred me to Enham to help me do my health and social.
That's great, thank you. So, Brandon, what is your greatest achievement over the last 2 years?
I guess talking to new people to probably start off with. Like years ago, I would not have been able to sit here and do an interview.
Yeah.
And I guess being able to perform in a group, write a play, and then have the opportunity of having it performed.
Yeah, that was amazing. And because I was there and I know that our chief exec was also there, and we all, were immensely proud of everything you'd achieved. So it definitely was a very big achievement. So publicly, well done. Alyssia, what about yourself? What's your greatest achievement over the last 2 years?
Haven't really had many, but I'm currently fighting a caffeine addiction, which is kind of going well.
Excellent, that's always good to know. So, I mean, I focused on 2 years because obviously most of us have spent the last year sort of being stuck at home during lockdowns and restrictions and things. So is there anything that you feel that you've achieved during this last year and sort of facing the difficulties with lockdown? Brandon, if I go to you first.
Yeah, since last year, that's how I joined college, like full time. But it was still a long process since sometimes I was only joining like once a week or once every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
But with John's help, it slowly became 2 days every week to then now being full time.
That's awesome, well done. But yeah, you should definitely be very, very proud of yourself on that one. That's a massive achievement. And Alyssia, what about you over the last year?
I don't know. I got a job interview at the end of this month after my birthday.
Perfect.
That's kind of an achievement, I think.
Definitely. I think that's a massive achievement. It's a difficult thing to get a job interview at the moment. So well done. That's really good.
Thank you.
Great. So I'm just wondering, what's your biggest barrier that you've had to overcome? Brandon, if I ask you first.
I wouldn't say overcome since I have really bad excitement, but it's working towards like going to a new setting, like a new classroom, or just a new environment, like the playwriting, new classes. So I've slowly gotten better at that, but I haven't overcome it just yet.
I would say you've overcome it probably further than you really want to give yourself credit for. So, yeah, that's brilliant. And keep doing, what you're doing and keep up the good work because you're doing brilliantly. Alyssia, what about yourself? What's the biggest barrier you've had to overcome?
My anxiety and my depression.
Yeah.
That's about it. And my PTSD.
Okay, yeah. So again, they're big barriers and it's not something that's going to just happen overnight. It takes a lot of hard work, doesn't it? But, it's testament to you both that you're willing to work at it. So well done. That's great. So kind of looking forward and the future, when we can get out of our houses and we can start doing stuff again, what are you both looking forward to? So Brandon, let's go to you first.
I guess hopefully get back to doing musicals and hopefully pass it to the next level, since it's a bit hard to do music work without a group, without being able to see each other.
Yeah, it's a bit tricky.
Yeah, just a little.
No, that's brilliant. That's, definitely something to look forward to. And Alyssia, what about yourself?
My job.
Excellent. Yeah, definitely. So last question. So a lot of what we've been talking about during the hub launch and things is sort of about opportunities and inspiring people and things. And we're really keen to find out what people think make Southampton a city of opportunity. So my question to you is, what makes Southampton your city of opportunity? So Brandon, what do you think?
I'd say just how many different organisations there are that can help with any type. Like, for example, I've gone to so many different places, I've tried different things to see what works and what doesn't. So I'd say it's just a lot of chances to try and overcome any needs.
Yeah, no, that's brilliant. That's great. Thank you. And Alyssia, for you, I know that you're fairly new to Southampton, but what makes Southampton your city of opportunity?
All like the different job choices and school choices and college and all of that.
Excellent.
excellent. So the fact that we're trying to get everything all in one place with the hub, so that you've got the information there, both on the digital hub and the physical hub, when we can deliver face to face again. Hopefully that will make it easier for you both as well. So thank you both very much for your time and for answering our questions.
So I hope you enjoyed that. It was really lovely to meet both Brandon and Alyssia, and I am absolutely sure that we have not heard the last of Brandon. He's very keen to get back to his screenwriting course. So I am aware that we're running a few minutes late, so I'm sorry for that. I'm just going to bring everything to a close, and then we've got one last video, which is around the City of Opportunity. So we went out onto social media, we talked to our colleagues, we talked to our clients, we talked to anybody who would listen, and just asked people to tell us what they felt made Southampton a city of opportunity. So we just thought it'd be a really nice way to finish off the event. So hopefully you'll enjoy that. But beforehand, I'd just really like to thank everybody for joining us today on this slightly unusual launch, with it all being online and things. It is a shame that we can't be in the same room together, because I think, you know, being in a room allows you to have freer conversation, and you know, it's all about the people that you meet and those little conversations that just pop up and happen. And through Zoom and things, unfortunately, those can't happen. But in time, I'm really confident that we will be able to do something where everybody can get together. So I just really would like to say a massive thank you to the team who have helped to make this event happen. So the Youth Hub team, everybody's been, you know, pitching in and doing lots of bits and pieces. Dan has been literally my right-hand man, so yeah, absolutely, congratulations. And you know, everybody in the background, it could not happen without everybody all pulling together. But also I'd like to say thank you to Drop the Mask, who are hosting this digitally for us. So they've taken a lot of stress away from us. So yeah, so well done, and thank you very much, guys. You've all been wonderful and really, really supportive. So I do really appreciate it. Really, apart from the video, all I wanted to sort of point out is that after the video has happened, you will have a pop-up box that will come up. So you'll have breakout room 1 and breakout room 2. If you have registered or would like to do the National Careers Service workshop, then it's room 1. And if you have any questions, if you'd like to meet some other people from the hub and not just listen to me, then it's breakout room 2. So with that, I will leave you with the video. Thank you ever so much to all of our speakers and for everybody who's attended today. And I hope you found it as inspirational as we wanted it to be. Thank you.